All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the home run. I am now joined by none other than Miss Aisha Jackson. She is the general manager of ALX South Africa, joining us today to talk about the gender parity that exists in the African technological and AI space. Miss Aisha, thank you very much for making time for us today. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, so let's get right into it. Miss Aisha, if you can, just give us a brief background on your career journey and your current role at ALX.
Sure. So I studied finance many years ago. I've been working for just over 15 years. During this time, I have focused most of my time in socioeconomic development. I founded my own company. I've worked for families and also done a lot of work for development agencies. And then 5.5 years ago, I started my journey at ALX, and it has definitely been a journey. I started in special projects where I led the admissions, and then I moved over into leading entrepreneurship across the continent. And now I have complete pleasure to be the general manager for South Africa and more recently, Southern Africa.
Excellent, excellent. So, a well experienced individual at the helm for ALX South Africa. Now, Miss Aisha, for those that don't know, can you tell us exactly what is ALX?
Absolutely. So, ALX is a Pan African technology and career accelerator. And we equip young people with the skills that we believe are needed for this global digital economy. So, over the past 6 years, we've worked on a model that proves that when we combine practical training, community, and real world pathway to work, we are able to get young people upskilled, reskilled, in particular in this, the skills that are needed in the digital economy, mixed with soft skills, which is important,
Mm-hmm.
um, into very fulfilling work and careers. And if they are not, doing the work like workforce work, they build businesses that then go on to employ other young people in our ecosystem. And we see that having a ripple effect and impact across the continent.
Yes, so following up on that, when it comes to the digital economy in Africa, as you very well know, access has always been a big issue for us here on the continent. How is ALX tearing down that barrier?
Absolutely. I mean, that is the reason why ALX was even started. So, a little bit of context is we actually form part of a larger group called Africa Leadership Group. And this was started almost nearly 20 years ago by Fred Swaniker, who was providing quality education to young Africans. And on this journey, he realized it was very expensive and therefore not accessible to everyone. And therefore, that is the mission of ALX. So, at ALX, our approach is designed to close that gap by offering learning that is accessible and affordable to our community.
Mm-hmm.
So people, individuals, young Africans, and actually it's actually available to anyone now. Our focus has been young people because of the inequality and the unemployment crisis for young people across the continent, but anyone can join. So learners can learn from anywhere at their own pace, which was really important for us. Previously, we were doing cohort based, but we got the feedback from the community that everyone is still trying to balance work, family, and other commitments. So now you can learn at your own pace. And I think what's also really important is sometimes it may feel like, but I can't afford ALX. But you can access the full ALX ecosystem once you complete our training with us, which is only $5 per month.
So, for the listeners, can you share an example of someone who has gone through the ALX doors and then gone on to thrive in the digital economy?
We are very lucky to have a lot of great examples of this. But I'd love to, given the conversation is about gender parity, I would love to talk about Pelile Ngubani.
Okay.
And she is one of our learners. She joined our ecosystem in the late of 2024 after she had lost her job. And she enrolled in the virtual assistant program. I think in a program where when we design it, it's not just about the technical program themselves really important around who are they and what impact they have on the world. And I think when she did that program, it clicked and it resonated many things that she was really good at. So what started off her being a freelancer ended up her launching her small business. Oh, actually, she had launched her small business, but I believe she got the skills in virtual assistant to take us to the next level. And to my knowledge, she has now hired 5 other virtual assistants from our community. She has taken other courses with us, like Founders Academy and AI Career Essentials, and is currently doing data science. And has this very thriving business. And yeah, we have lots of great. I think even within the story, what I love about her story is within her story are other stories. So all those 5 other virtual assistants now all have opportunity as well.
That's fantastic to hear. So, approximately how long does a course at ALX take to complete?
Yeah, so we have short courses all the way to in-depth courses. Our career programs like virtual assistant and AI are and the entrepreneurship ones are shorter, so they're generally 1 to 2 months. So if you look at how much that could cost, that could be, just $10 to access these digital and entrepreneurship skills, all the way to our more technical technology courses, which is data analytics, data science, data engineering. Also, we have creative courses in content creation and graphic design, and those are anything from 6 months to 18 months.
Okay.
And I also want to say that when you pay the $5 per month, you have access to all of these courses. And so you can do as many as you want at the pace that you want.
Excellent, excellent. I'm sure to everyone listening, I know for a fact you have all spent $5 on much less.
Exactly, exactly. And I think one thing that I really haven't covered is the reason we refer to ourselves as a career accelerator is because you're unlocking so much when you come into our community. We are very close, so we feel one of our responsibilities is not to land you the job because we need you to grow that skill, but to get you close to industry, to get you close to those players, and so that you can land the job. And so you also enter into this beautiful Pan African community of like minded people who are ambitious, who want to see Africa grow and thrive. So many of people have, really formed amazing relationships and friendships in this community.
Excellent, excellent. So I want to touch on the Pan African element. When a person joins a ALX course, are you in communication or in a cohort with other people from around the continent, or exactly how does that work? Touch on the Pan African element of ALX.
Yes, absolutely. So you enter our community, and in our learning in particular, you are paired with other people across the continent for that peer support. So there are other types of support that we offer, like mentorship support. We have, forums on a weekly basis, but you are also paired, you are put in groups and paired with other people. So let's say you're in Namibia, you could be paired with someone in Ghana and Kenya and Ethiopia or Egypt. And so we really are Pan African and have that Pan African spirit. And that many a times when we speak to our learners, those are the people that and the support system that get them through to graduation and opportunity, right? They go on to be your network.
Yeah. That's great to hear, and I'm happy to hear that ALX is connecting the continent in this way. So let's talk about gender parity. Talk to us about how ALX is making sure that women are included in the tech and AI space, and reducing that gender parity that exists in the space right now.
Yeah, this is still has really scary statistics. I think if you open or read any article by anybody renowned, you will see that there is still a huge divide, and women are still not as involved in the tech and AI space as they should be. And I mean, the stats, it's all 10% and up in terms of that division. But I think at ALX, we see AI as an opportunity to really help with this, and reverse that trend. And I want to touch on a few things here.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to talk about the AI course that we have. So it's AI and Career Essentials. And what's really interesting is last year, the CEO made the entire organization take this course. So I've taken this course. It's brilliant. And honestly, it has increased my efficiency. So what I actually recommend when I talk to young people is you don't have to be scared by AI and just try this course. Start tapping into tech through AI, because this is just the basic skills of prompting, are going to be just compulsory to be in the workforce and just to increase your efficiency. And I also think it's a really good way to just get into the tech ecosystem in the space. But that's like for beginners. So, or someone who's not like extremely technical but still wants the basics. But then if you are someone who has a love for technology, we do support women in many ways. We have a mandate to make sure that we are recruiting as actively with women. As a general manager, we are always thinking of, I'm always thinking of ways to ensure that the space is can work for women. So, for instance, finalizing the selection of a daycare center at the hub on Saturday so women can come. So, trying to address the barriers. Last year was the year before. I know sometimes we have a women only cohort in tech because sometimes it can be intimidating for women to be in a cohort with all of these other men. And so we try to create spaces and initiatives that allow women to thrive, and feel comfortable. As we know, as many of us women know, even in leadership positions, we're dealing with the kind of historical precedent, and it can be difficult as a woman. So we really try to create spaces for women to feel comfortable. And I think what's also really nice about the women in our community is always willing to look back. How do I bring a woman along?
Yeah.
And then I think lastly, just in terms of some of the events and communication that we do, we try to segment women and talk particularly to them. We try to make sure that opportunities that come across, like my desk, we make sure that there's just as many women getting the opportunity as men.
Yeah.
So this is something, just rounding off there, this is something that's really important to us. And you can even see that in our leadership at ALX. There are a lot of women. I actually think there are more women than men in our leadership now.
That's fantastic, fantastic. Miss Aisha, in your personal view, what do you think is the reason for the gender parity in the space right now?
I think it's historical. The space has been previously dominated by men, and the narrative around it is it's a man's occupation. And so there's almost a boys' club essence or boys' club that is particularly heavy in the tech space. And so, I mean, that aside, and then I think it is also a very demanding occupation. When you, even if you look at our courses, you know, the kind of career creative courses, you can give 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But for the more technical courses, they go up to 80 hours a week. Realistically, a lot of women are still caregivers and have a lot of other commitments that don't allow them the space to give 80 hours a week to study, to become a software engineer. So that's another reason why we're doing self-paced, right? Is to allow, to bring down one of those barriers that allow women to be more involved in tech because it is more demanding.
100%. And Miss Aisha, before we close off today, is there anything else you'd like to touch on before I let you go today?
I think, yes, absolutely. So and we believe it's Africa's time. And the whole reason behind ALX is to make sure that there isn't just a few who can benefit from it being our time. And so please go and check out our website. It's www.alxafrica.com. I want to say guaranteed transformation ahead of you. You will be exposed to just a new and different way of thinking, that support system, that community that you're looking for. And yeah, I really hope that this helps someone get further along in their career and their journey. You have nothing to lose.
And just to clarify, anyone can join ALX, right? There's no prerequisites or anything to join?
Nope. So I think one thing that our hashtag is do hard things. And so all you have to do is register for a program or a course. What then happens is you prove to yourself by graduating from the course that you can do hard things, because that curriculum, it is challenging, but in a really good way. And so anyone is able to join, and you have to work through all of the things, like the determination, like all of the values that you need to succeed, you will find during that journey.
Excellent. Miss Aisha Jackson, thank you very much for your time today and for giving us those great insights on ALX and its work. And hopefully we'll have you on again soon to share some more with us.
Thank you so much. It was so great to be here and to talk to you.